Hey guys, it's macj here. In this video, I would like to cover the topic of arranging your lo-fi beats. I feel like this is often overlooked in beat production, and that's why a lot of people believe lo-fi music is actually pretty boring, which isn't true at all. However, it is true that sometimes lo-fi beats are a bit repetitive. So that's why I'm making this video, to share with you some of my best personal techniques for making your lo-fi beats interesting and professional. For the high-pass technique, I use personally isotope vinyl, but you can use any EQ basically. And for the low-pass, I'm using EQ, but you could also use any filter, low-pass filter if you want to. And for the low-pass filter, you could use it in various ways. For example, in this beat I used it in transitioning. So for the high-pass filter, I just make an automation clip for the isotope vinyl ear effect at the end of loop section, and basically that's it. But you could also make some random dropouts throughout the song and it will sound pretty cool. So the next technique is a bit vague and there's a lot of ways of how you could use it, but it mostly focuses on chopping your sample up and changing the rhythm of it, or maybe cutting some parts of the drums, or changing the rhythm of the drums, or cutting the bass, or adding more bass sounds. I personally like to have one change like this every single loop I have, to just make it a bit different each time. Right, so the next technique focuses on adding some vocal chants or phrases into your beat. You can add it, for example, at the intro, when you have the transition from the intro to the full beat, or you could add it throughout the song in some dropouts or whenever you feel. However, make sure to not overuse them because it's really easy to add too many of them. And if you want to, you could also add delay on top of your vocals. This will create a really nice echoey effect if you set the delay to quick response. Now, speaking of delay, the next technique is about adding delay and reverb on your drums. Now, this may be a bit weird at the beginning, but it will create a really cool and interesting sound. I like to use delay on the snare personally, and especially on the last snare in the drums section, so it creates this kind of transition effect, which is really cool. And you could do the same with the reverb, so when the last snare hits, you could make the reverb come up and it will create a really cool wet effect, something interesting, a bit more stereo, so also be careful with that. Now, these techniques might seem a bit simple, but there's plenty of ways of how you could implement them into your beat production. You will get the best results if you combine all of these techniques, and if you experiment, create your own techniques, because those are only few that I personally use and that work for me, but there are plenty of other techniques that you could find out by yourself. So if you liked this video, consider subscribing or leaving a like and commenting down below if you have any questions or ideas for next videos.